Has the potential cost of a project car ever deterred you from getting into one yourself? Well, now that Project Low Fairmont has officially busted the $4,000 budget I had held for it, we get into this episode why now it's even more important to stop the bleeding. Welcome to Straight Six Fan. I'm Grant Tommy, helping you build your hot rod and your confidence without a ton of money. And, well, today, this spark plug, this last spark plug, about ready to go into cylinder number 1, is what busted the budget on Project Low Fairmont. Alright, so that's a little bit of hyperbole. It's not this spark plug per se. It's the fact that I had to buy 8 new spark plugs because the thread pattern on the GT40P heads did not match the heads that came off the car. So I went to O'Reilly's and bought a set of new spark plugs for a 97 Ford Explorer. So, well, that final plug is on. I'm going to get this socket off. And if you caught last episode, well, if you haven't actually, info card up over here. I will leave one there. But I mentioned I wanted to give you a budget update then, and I couldn't. I just felt like the episode is getting too long, so I kind of bailed on that. So that's what this episode's all about. We're going to give you a rundown of where we stand on the budget, and I'm going to get into, well, I've been having a lot of conversations both on this platform, YouTube, as well as Instagram and Facebook, where I find, I guess, it's easier for you, the commenters, the viewers, to spend my money than it is for me. And I want to get into why it's important we stop. Okay, so to say stop, maybe that's a little overdoing it. The project will go on, rest assured that. And, well, first off, if you want to see some kind of minor updates on the build, stick around till the end of the episode. I'll show you guys a few things here and there. But first things first, I just at face value want to go through where we stand on the budget. And the last episode we gave you a budget update. We had $43.11 left of the original $4,000 budget. Well, between selling that brake booster I bought off of eBay for a Christmas gift, well, my wife gave me money to buy that as a Christmas gift, and then I decided I didn't need it. Well, if you don't know what I'm talking about, there's an info card up over here to that episode, but found out I didn't need that, so I went ahead and resold that on eBay, and I made $26.12 after fees and everything to go back into the project budget. And then about a week ago, I took all of the leftover scrap. That would be my old water pump, my old master cylinder, the heads and all of that stuff to the scrap yard. And well, sadly, I only made $10.50 to put back into the project. So that bumped us back up to about $79.73. And then, of course, last week's episode, the head gasket and the head stud kit, combined, those two set me back $73 even. So that took the project budget right back down to $6.73. Well, the spark plugs we just put on, the set of 8 set me back $26.19. So the project budget is officially busted now. We've now spent $19.46 over $4,000. Did I think this was going to happen? Yeah, I had a pretty good idea something like this would probably happen. Unfortunately, I think I've got, so we're going to move the fence post back a little bit, right? So the new goal is going to be to hopefully not exceed 10% over. So we're going to try to get this car done for under $4,400. And even looking at the numbers, because there's a few other things that you guys don't know about that I do, that might even be challenging. But I kind of wanted to address kind of where we're getting at right now with the set of GT40P heads. It's becoming a little bit controversial, both on Instagram, Twitter, and here on YouTube. So first off, let me say, I don't take any of these comments personally. I know you guys are excited about the project. You're excited to see what these heads can do. And there are just a select few of you out there who, you know, they want to take it next level. They want to see it just a little bit more. And while I so much do too, right? I wish I could afford either a set of 1.7 rocker arms at this point for the car and get a little more lift out of these valves. Do I wish I could afford a new intake manifold? Absolutely. And honestly, it's not about whether I can actually afford it or not, because I could if I really wanted to. The money's there. But that's not what this project is meant to be about, or this channel. So yeah, I refuse to let this channel be about just spending another extra $150 on a 4-rail intake, well, and then having to buy a 4-barrel carb on top of that. When the project's already over, like, you've got to stop the bleeding somewhere, and these things will keep piling on top of each other until there's no end in sight. And, well, this channel is supposed to be about a couple of things. One, it's supposed to be about celebrating the underdogs. This car is a car that not too many people really care for. And if you're going to be building a car like this, an offbeat hot rod like I call them, well, there's also going to be a market tipping point that you'll never get your money back out of. We all know, we've heard that phrase before, but especially on cars like this, I keep saying I could either spend $4,500 on the car and try to get $4,500 back out of it, or I could spend $7,500 on the car and try to get $4,500 out of it. And while I think that's the magic threshold, like, based on all the Fairmont forums I'm on and Facebook groups, I really do, the more and more, I am finding that to be kind of right there. But what I do want this channel to be about, you hear me say it every episode. I want to help inspire people to build their hot rod and their confidence without a ton of money. And so this project is just the first of what I hope to be multiple, because I want to hone my skills on different cars. While I love this car and I wouldn't mind keeping it for years to come, that's just not what I want the channel to be about. And I want someone out there who maybe wants to get into the hobby for it to be accessible. While my monetary situation could support adding another $375 total to the project for a 4-rail carb and intake or whatever, well, one, it's going to hurt my profit margin. I think I'll be on the other side of that tipping point. But two, there's other people out there with financial constraints not like mine. And I want this channel to be all about just get out there, go do it. Look, this is my first project car, so I don't have the experience. I want people to look at me and say, look, here's a guy who's doing his first car. That inspires me to do my first car. And it's not about having 2-post lift amenities and a 10-foot long toolbox with full snap-on tools and air-powered this and that. You know, there might be people who the only way they get to pull off their first project car is not even in a garage. I'm fortunate to have a garage. So again, I want to make the hobby of hot rodding appear very accessible, and so I just think it would be irresponsible for multiple reasons, my own personal goals on the project, as well as channel goals, just to keep spending money on it. So obviously, while I know the more things I could leverage on top of the GT40P heads, the more beneficial the heads would be, because, you know, things are going to want to work in conjunction. Like I said, it's just, we're at the end of the road. We're out of money, and I don't want to turn this into a $5,000 project vehicle. It's supposed to be in the 4,000s. And so while we're done talking about what we can't do, let's talk about what we can do, having just crested the $4,000 budget. This is the part of the episode where we start talking about the project update, what we can do. So, as you can see, my intake manifold, yes, we're sticking with the stock 2-barrel intake manifold. Started cleaning that over the week, hopefully prepping it for paint. But the more important thing that took place over the week was, well, this little, I don't even know what you call it, but it's kind of a 1-inch spacer plenum. So we took it upon ourselves to notch out right down the middle. Kind of help turn it into a almost more like a single plane spacer or solid spacer. Now we were cognizant of what was going on the back side. That explains a little bit of the shape there right down the middle. So hopefully that will help a little bit with low end torque. And similarly on the intake itself, I went ahead with the die grinder and ground in a little bit of a knife edge here at the carb mounting flange. And this is what the stock ports of this intake manifold look like. I do record this on my normal Sunday, but you may notice that this video also went up on Sunday. Well, yesterday, Saturday, I braved the nasty Kansas humidity and spent about 3 hours out here with the die grinder porting the intake runners. And we opened these up stock. They're about 7/8 of an inch wide. I opened them up to about 1 inch wide. The GT40P heads on the intake side are opened up to 1 1/8 inches. So this intake manifold is still going to be narrower than the heads, which I've been told that's what you want to do, if you can have it one way or the other. But I feel pretty good about the results. I was able to get pretty deep in, and it's probably going to be hard to show on camera, pretty deep in here, round off like corners on the inside and whatnot. So is that going to be as good as a 4-barrel intake? No. But is it going to be better than the stock one? Yes, albeit marginally. But I do also have one surprise to show you guys on the carburetor side of things, but I will leave that for another episode on down the line. But yeah, I hope you guys understand that the closer I can keep this under $4,500, I think the better luck I have for selling it at $4,500 and maybe making a few extra bucks that way. And I can leverage that into the next project. And the next project, guys, as we look at my channel long term, ideally, I probably want to increase the budget total by $500 each time, kind of stair step our way up. We can do a little more things with more money. But I want it to be realistic, and I want it to be something that, like, the target audience I'm trying to reach are the ones that don't have $10,000 to spend on a car. So I hope you guys understand, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you really appreciated the message, consider subscribing. But otherwise, if you just want to get caught up on where we're at with this crazy head swap, here and here are some videos of that head swap you can go check out. Otherwise, just leave a comment, share the episode, like it, and that's just gonna wrap things up.